Two, one. Welcome back, Wayfarer. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a second try because a moment ago my sound cut out and I don't know what's up with that. I'm hoping that it's working now. I double tested everything and it looks like we should be good. So tonight we're doing a food review of sweet and sour barbecued spare ribs, pork ribs with stir fried French green beans, all with some rice, some white rice. If it ain't white, it ain't right. So we got the white rice. White rice matters, right? Going in. White rice tastes pretty good. A little more chewy than I like, but what you gonna do? You gotta buy that rib. If it's your first time, guys, don't let it be your last time. We're washing this all down with a little Budweiser. Budweiser tall buy. Looking good. Good stuff. Yummy. Okay. So the pork spare rib, the barbecue, it's on point, man. The meat's pretty good. The the sweet and sour barbecue sauce is nice. It's just the right amount of tangy and sweet. The stir fried French beans were stir fried with some kind of mystery meat in them, and I'm not sure what that is exactly, but we'll give it a go. I see if it tastes like cat, maybe. No, it seems all right. Kind of seems like it might be bacon, some kind of bacon or something, some kind of salted meat. Get a little more of this rib. We are broadcasting you directly from the biggest Chinatown in the world, guys. Twilight Zone OP King in the Central Kingdom of Celestial Dragon, Beijing, China, man. That's where we're at tonight. Hanging out in the hotel. Still waiting for the dorm room to get remodeled. We may or may not be able to get back in there this year. I'll be all right, though. If you caught the transmission last night, then you saw that we reviewed Chinese McDonald's. It was really good. I had to reboot the transmission, guys, because a moment ago I lost sound. So I'm hoping that we're back in action with the right amount of sound tonight. We're here having this stir-fried French green bean. Look at that. Going in. This is just kind of made with like a salt and pepper stir fry, which is what they call qing chow. Qing means like clear or clean, like a clean stir fry. There's different ways to get your chow tai, your stir fried vegetables done in a Chinese restaurant. You could say you want it qing chow, which is like just clear. That's just like a salt and pepper kind of stir fry. So it's like a clear sauce. Or you could get swan rong chow, which is like stir fried with garlic. You could get jiangyou chow, right, which is like a soy sauce, brown sauce. You get la chow, right, hot and spicy, stir fried with peppers. But I just got the basic stir fried veggie. I figured I need to add some greens to my diet. I've been eating a lot of meat lately. Pretty much just meat and grain for like the last 2 weeks, which I don't think is great. I need to add some salads, some vegetables. So I got some of this stir fry right here. Some of that old stir fry. Wow, it's got the old oil running off it, man. It's a little bit gnarly. That's okay though. Welcome back to the transmission, guys. If your first time, don't let it be your last time. Tonight we're checking out some Chinese food. Like I said, we got the sweet and sour barbecue pork ribs. Really good. Very nice. We got the stir fry French green bean. That's going in. Nice and hot. So what's been happening with y'all good-looking sexy people out in Happy Land? You've been holding down the fort? Out there shaking your ass? I can appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. You've been staying out of trouble? Don't let nobody take the jelly out of your donut. Last night we had a really fun transmission, about an hour long. A lot of haters came in though and were talking a gang of shit. That happens from time to time, right? Folks be coming in, talking all kinds of shit, running their mouth, saying this, that, and the other thing. No common sense. That's about what was going on last night. We were doing a Chinese McDonald's food review. Yeah. We had a double cheeseburger, chicken McChicken sandwich, French fry, strawberry sundae, and a Coke, all for around $5. Equivalent of $5 US. Not a bad price for that big of a meal. And people are like, don't eat McDonald's, it'll kill you. And that was the first time I have eaten McDonald's in probably a month. So it's not like I eat it all the time, but when I do eat it, I like to do a little food review video because I think it's kind of funny to eat it on there. It drives people crazy. You know, I'd much rather have a decent burger, like a or what, like a fat burger or a Tommy Chong's burger or an In-N-Out burger or a Shake Shack burger. Even like there's a burger that the Walmart Sam's Club makes here in Beijing. It's fucking good, like really good. I think it's like 18 kwai, which is approximately $3 or $2.50, something like that. And it's nice. Like I'll have one of those occasionally on the weekend. They use that USD certified prime beef in their burger meat. It's very good. But that's not what we're having tonight, guys. We're having the barbecue pork ribs. Pretty good. Not bad. Sam, are you back? I had to reboot the transmission. Last night there was in here someone in here last night using your name. Somebody named Samuel Chen. And he was talking a bunch of shit. He was pretending to be you. I thought that was kind of weird. It's been a long week. It's Thursday here in the Central Kingdom. If it's your first time, don't let it be your last time. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the bell or go to hell. Who can tell? Hope you're doing well. That's not bad. I need a little napkin to wipe my greasy mouth with. We don't have any napkins though, so we just use some toilet paper. How about that? There's a fucking bone or something in that piece of meat that I couldn't get rid of. It was a little bit depressing. A little bit discombobulating. They put some chili peppers in this one, right? Little chili peppers. They don't seem like they're real spicy though. Oh yeah, they're spicy. Wow. Oh god, that's fire right there. I didn't think it was spicy because I hadn't tasted any of the heat in any of the vegetable itself. But then biting into that bad boy, man, that was fire right there. Like I said, there's a little bit of mystery meat in here. Ah, that doesn't look good right there. I almost told them just to leave out the mystery meat, you know, because I've got what is that? Because I've got my own ribs that I brought back from another public house. And so I was gonna say, hey, just cook it without the mystery meat. And I was like, yeah, they're not gonna put much in there anyway. I thought it might be kind of fun to try to guess what it is. You know, is it cat? Is it dog? Is it rat? I think it's just pork. It's a mixed bag, guys. The ribs are fairly decent. They're a like actually what's called like a cold dish, like an appetizer type thing. So they make the ribs and then chill them. So they're kind of fun. And then stir fried veggies. Those of Cress are, of course, are fresh stir fried French style green beans, sliced thin and stir fried with some onion and garlic and pepper, red pepper. Yeah, that piece of meat wasn't very good right there. The last couple pieces weren't tasty at all. See if we got any good ones left. These last couple of ribs, man, are kind of turning into fucking disappointment. It's okay. You can't win them all. I'm glad I I'm glad I got the veggies though to go with them. Otherwise, it'd be pretty boring, just rice and pork ribs. So we're better off having uh went ahead and got that stir fried veggie dish with that. There's a suspicious looking piece of that mystery meat. Oh god, I'm not going anywhere near that, man. I'm just gonna stay away. All right. I think we're about done with all this shit right here. About to wrap it up. I think I've had just about enough for now, anyway. I got a little bit of this McChicken sandwich left over from yesterday. Might still be all right. Take a little bite off it. Yeah, it tastes okay. Probably shouldn't eat that mess and sitting out all day. Might end up making me sick. I think I'll pass on it. I'll toss it later. See what we got. This is one more rib, and then we're gonna fucking call it quits. So this is turning brutal. It's turning into something like work rather than a meal. It makes you appreciate the good meals when you have them. Like when you get a meal like this, and it's not great. Truly not great. My necklace is all over the place over here. Got my Buddha on. Got a cabbage. This is a jade cabbage. It's a cabbage made out of jade for good luck. And then I got a nice guanyin, also made out of white jade. This one's green jade. That one's white jade. Wearing that. I'm sporting my Ring of Solomon and my Star of David. Hadn't had a haircut in a couple of weeks, man. Looks like I'm about ready for one. All right. Hadn't had a shave today. Gonna need a shave. Shit shower and shave later. I don't know if I want to eat any more of this, man. I don't really feel like I don't feel like they put any love into this meal today. Like just because you work like as a chef as your job or a cook as your job doesn't mean you have to make the food bad, you know? Like you can absolutely tell the difference between a decent meal at a restaurant where they actually have a higher standard and then like a meal at a roadside cafe where they don't give a fuck. And then there are those occasional roadside cafes where they actually do give a fuck, where, you know, some like middle-aged ex-alcoholic old dude, white dude is hanging out, making hash browns and eggs, and it's actually delicious. That's your best bet. That's like the middle of the road. Some dude that's, you know, he's probably mid 50s and he's probably been cooking his whole life in greasy spoon diners and roadside cafes and just fucking knows exactly how to use a grill and can make your eggs sunny side up. I'm not talking Waffle House. I'm talking like R&J's, Roland Diner or something like that. Some off-brand one that's just like Bob and Pop's run, and he hired his uncle or his cousin to cook, and the nieces and nephews, you know, are working the counter. That's the kind of food that is down home country. And occasionally, like these restaurants, they have that kind of vibe here in China. Like you'll find one that, like the dude that owns the place actually gives a fuck about producing a decent stir fry or whatever. Um, ain't gonna fuck you over. But a lot of the times, like since the great start of the new normal, like a lot of those medium-sized businesses, they got put out of business. Uh, and then the new ones that opened up are all like corporate sponsored, so they're not the same. Like a corporate sponsored, same like they try to act like they're the same, like they're a similar grassroots type of deal, but they go in and they're bought out with corporate money, and then the people who come in and work there, they're not working there as a business, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, but they're working there as like a day laborer, you know, like a wage worker. And so they don't give any kind of fucks, right? They're trying to cut all the corners they can just to do the least amount of work they can do. And they're not interested in building the brand because it's not their brand and they just don't care. So you wind up getting pretty shoddy food. So all those ones that were like pre new normal that had decent staffing, those folks just had to give up and go home. And now this next generation coming out of the door is not good. Like when I went in there and I was checking them out, and like man, there was like two or three of them all next to each other, and I walked in the first one and it looked pretty shoddy, and the dude in the kitchen he didn't look good at all. And so I went to the next one, and at least they had a couple of gals at the front and like a manager style dude, and then the kitchen staff dude, he was back there and he was doing shit. You know, he was busy. He wasn't taking a nap or something. And so I thought, okay, this looks a little better. And I checked out their menu and they didn't really have shit. I was like, fuck, I'll just get some stir fried green beans and then put them together with my sweet and sour pork ribs. But yeah, it was kind of a bad choice. And yeah, a lot of the fucking grease in there, Jesus. Um, Not a lot of choices, like I said. So just roll with the punches, man. It's a dinner. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna beat a dead horse about it. On a scale of 1 to 10, what am I gonna rate this stir fried green bean with sweet and sour pork and rice? On a scale of 1 to 10, I am going to give it. Let me try to be fair here. If the uh, if the pork ribs, if they were about a 5.5, and the stir fried French beans were about a 3.5, and the rice wasn't shit, doesn't even come into the equation, then I'm going to have to say we'll split it down the middle. And all in all, that meal gets a 4.5. And that's being generous just because a couple of those ribs were pretty good. But the rest of it, boo, not great at all. Whew. Okay, but I survived it, and we're gonna debrief with a cigarette. Smoke them if you got them. Go ahead and get one out and get ready to fire it up. Take a smoke break if you're at work and you can head out. I have to slip outside the door and tell your manager or whatever that you're going to be outside for a cigarette. Go ahead and get that ready to do it. Get your lighter ready. Pack your cigarette if you know how to do that. You pack it a little bit, and you guys know I've been in China for 20 years now, and 20 plus, and I would say three-fourths of the time I have pretty good experiences with most people in most restaurants and stuff. But occasionally you get that asshole that, he gives you a sidelong glance and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna order something here?" And I'll go, "Fucking, I'm gonna go spit in your food, right?" Uh, and you're hungry and you've already ordered and you've paid and you think, "Fuck, should I even take the risk of eating this or should I just throw it away and just forget it and go somewhere else?" And it's rare, but it happens. And in situations like that, I won't do it. Like I'll be like, "Fuck, I'm just gonna have to bail out on this food and starve to death tonight, or go hungry one night." Not a big deal. But yeah, that's happened a few times, and sometimes in these ghetto areas, or like they're kind of outside the city and suburban type, almost rural. Like they're right on the edge of the rural and the urban. So you would think they're suburban, but they're not. They're like pseudo urban, but mostly just with rural people. Then you get that kind of situation more often than not. I'd Most of the time, oft times here in Beijing, I'd rather be downtown where the folks are more metropolitan and it's bigger money. It's like it's where I live. It's where I've lived the whole time I've lived here. But the restaurants are just far superior. All the food's way better. They've got a reputation to maintain. They're they're cosmopolitan people. The owners are typically people, they're from other larger cities, Shanghai or Hong Kong or even Beijingers, but they've got a more what's the word? They've got a broader perspective. And so and it seems to be that the more complicated and sophisticated the restaurant and the food choices, the more cosmopolitan and intellectual the people that work there. It just seems to go hand in hand. And I'm not saying that you can't get a great little meal at a rural, rustic outpost somewhere in the middle of the fucking wilderness. where they're just cooking vegetables and everything, very, very pure, no seasonings really, just fry it up or grill it up or whatever. Those can really be nice sometimes too. But when you get that pseudo blend between the two, you're neither in the country nor in the city, and the folks in that milieu of people are pretending like they think they've made it, and the food just turns out to be not very good a lot of times. Hey, we've got a visitor out in Happy Land. No, today we had Chinese food review, man. Today was a Chinese food review. Johan Trainer is here. He says, "What's up?" Says, "Why aren't you eating McDonald's today?" I had a Chinese like home style cooked meal. It was rice with French green beans and sweet and sour barbecued ribs. And I was complaining about it a little bit because it wasn't great. And yeah, it sounded pretty good. It sounded fairly decent when I bought it, but then getting it back here and eating it wasn't as much fun as I thought it would be. I had a nice, interesting little lunch though. I had a bowl of like seaweed and bean curd soup with a like pulled pork on a flatbread, like a toasted flatbread, and it had pulled pork, almost like a pulled pork sandwich, like a barbecued pulled pork sandwich. And that was fucking dynamite. I might have that again, man. I really enjoyed that. And then I also had a bowl of corn porridge with it. So I thought that I needed to get some vegetables. So that's why I went by this place and got the green beans. I could give you a little showtime here of the green beans I just finished off. They're stir fried with onion, pepper, and garlic. They're all right. Not great. Like I said, stir frying technique, you've got to have a certain skill level to make it turn out correct. Like I was back in the States, back in California recently, and I went by like what is that famous one? PF Chang's or something. And I ordered a bunch of dishes, and I was with my uncle. He ordered a bunch of dishes and we were eating together. And not a single one of those dishes was stir fried correctly. Like whoever was in the fucking kitchen that day didn't know anything about how to use a wok. And using a wok it takes a fairly decent skill level to be able to do it correctly. Like how you have to know how to season your wok. It's kind of like a cast iron skillet. You have to keep it seasoned so that nothing sticks to it. You have to blanch the vegetables and deep fry the meats for a second, and then let it all drain up on the rack. And then you have to throw it together in the right order. Then you have to add the sauce at the right time, right? And you could quick fry it. You can double fry it. You can do it all different kinds of way. But each dish, depending on what you're making, requires a different set of steps that you have to go through in order to make it turn out correctly. Like you can't just turn on the fire and throw it all in the wok and stir it around and think it's going to fucking turn out like anything. It just turns into mud. And I've been around Chinese cooking for good God, now 35, 40 years of my life. And so I know the difference between fairly decent, really good Chinese food as opposed to someone who doesn't know anything about fucking a wok, and then they're working in a corporate run restaurant where it's all probably like they had, I don't know, maybe probably not even 6 weeks of training, like 2 weeks of training or something. And it's something that requires a skilled practitioner, probably a solid year of working in the kitchen, just like working on fryers and shit and watching and learning the basics, and then sitting there and practicing all afternoon before the head chef will even let you try to make fried rice. So it's there's like a kung fu process in a Chinese kitchen that can't be overlooked. And if you don't get in your chops and learn about all your sauces and all your prep methods and all your timings for your different meats and veggies. But when you get that one Chinese cook that fucking knows his way around the kitchen, he can make two, 300 dishes, and it's just one dude back there, and he can make it all. And he knows exactly how to do every single thing of it. And that's after, 10, 15, 20 years of working in the restaurant. And all of it will taste good. All of it. Not only will it taste good, it'll taste fucking perfect like heaven. And if you do it right, then it's dynamite. And if you do it wrong, then fuck, it's just torture to even try to eat it. There is no midpoint with that. With Chinese stir fry cooking, you either fucking know how to do it or you don't. And there is no midpoint. You can't make it mediocre. You either make it great or it turns out like shit. And just that's the way it goes, man, as far as I've observed. And like I said, I've got a fair amount of experience in that realm. Not only being in the kitchen, but knowing restaurant owners and eating the shit every day for the last 30 years. There are some decent cuisines, right? There are regional cuisines. Of course, if you start in the South, my favorite foods are Southern foods here in China, the Hong Kong area, and then you move up into Canton, Cantonese food, and come all the way up the coast. You've got Fujian, and then Jiangsu, Jiangxi, Zhejiang, Shanghai style foods. You move inland a little bit. You've got Guizhou and Sichuan, and then coming on up there, you got Hunan, and then you come a little further north, and you come in from the coast. You've got the Shandong style foods, and then northern style foods, Beijing, Hebei, and then if you go up to the northeast, you've got Dongbei, Heilongjiang, Dalian, some of the cities and stuff. Changbaishan, where they're eating like entire roast goat, not goat, lamb. Like you can get an entire roast lamb with different kinds of seasonings and stuff. I can't think of it all right now because end of the day and my brain's zapped. This morning I went to the academy and a fellow colleague had some stuff they wanted me to do, and they handed it to me, and I knocked it out in record time, 5 to 10 minutes with all kinds of commentary and dissertation on what was going on in this essay I was looking over, and I handed it back, and she's like, "Wow, you didn't have to do all that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's first thing in the morning, the mind's clear, give it 100%." But then come 6:30 in the evening now, there's I've used all of my best energy throughout the day. I've been up since 6 a.m., even before 5:30 a.m. probably, and I've used all of my best energy to support my income, right? My salary. I've used it all at work, and now I'm here just at the end of the day, tapering down, having a cigarette and a little bit of food, and some live jive archive. Nothing to talk about though, man. It's a Thursday into the week. We're into like the fourth week of the semester, and yeah, about to roll into the abodes of the evening, get a shower, and take a nap, reboot, do it all again tomorrow. Um, but yeah, good to see you again, man. I saw you last night, so that's cool. I appreciate you coming back by, Johan. Johan Trailer 27. It's your first time. Don't let it be your last time. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. All of that happy horse shit. Doesn't look like we're going to get as much action as we did last night. Last night we got over 200 views in under an hour. And tonight it just doesn't look like it's going to happen, man. We're at 34 minutes already. We did a food review and we're going into long form content, narratives, long form narratives, deep dive into Chinese cuisine. And we're still not pushing the numbers. So we might just go ahead and call this one a short one tonight. I do appreciate you coming by to say hello. I hope y'all good looking sex people are doing well out in Happy Land tonight. This is Frank Monday coming at you from Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Twilight Zone, Old Peking, wishing you well, Wayfarer, wherever you are, whoever you are, and whenever you receive this transmission. Keep rolling with the punches. Don't let them take the lead out of your pencil and keep a little bit of jelly in your donut. Until next time, ad astra per aspera, keep doing good magic.